Ducati didn't lose Francesco Bagnaia. They chose to let him go, and he chose to make them regret it. I'm RATAN. I own this channel, and every topic discussed in this video is the result of my own research. Now let's get into it. There is a moment in every great sporting story where the institution and the individual part ways, not with a dramatic explosion, not with public warfare, but with a quiet, calculated decision made behind closed doors that only reveals its full weight months later. That moment arrived in MotoGP before a single competitive lap of the 22-6 season had been completed. Ducati, the manufacturer that Francesco Bagnaia quite literally built into the most dominant force in modern Grand Prix racing, placed a salary reduction offer on the table and dressed it up as a negotiation. Bagnaia read the message beneath the message, declined everything they offered, turned down a substantially larger financial package from Yamaha as well, and signed with Aprilia, a manufacturer that has never won a MotoGP World Championship based on friendship, national pride, competitive belief, and a personal conviction about which project would define the 850cc era. That chain of decisions is one of the most fascinating stories that paddock has produced in years, and to truly understand it, you have to start not with what Bagnaia chose, but with what Ducati revealed about how they see the future. Francesco Bagnaia's record at Ducati is not a matter of opinion. It is a historical fact that stands entirely on its own. More wins, more poles, and more podiums in Ducati colors than any other rider in the manufacturer's entire history. Back-to-back world championships in 2022 and 23 delivered with consistency, precision, and technical mastery that elevated Ducati from perennial challenger to absolute ruler of the grid. A third championship in 2024 that slipped away not through poor performance, not through mechanical failure, not through a strategic collapse, but on the final lap of the final race of the entire season, in a contest so mathematically tight it required a recount to confirm the result. For the better part of 4 years, Bagnaia was the untouchable #1, the rider around whom the entire Ducati project was constructed, the name that Borgo Panigale put at the center of everything. Then Marc Marquez arrived, and in the ruthless, unsentimental calculus of MotoGP, one difficult season riding alongside the most individually talented rider of his generation was enough to shift Ducati's thinking entirely. Bagnaia finished 5th in 2025. Pedro Acosta carried a championship lead after round 1 of 2026. Ducati looked at those 2 data points and made their decision. The price of staying was a substantial salary reduction, a number that communicated with brutal clarity exactly where Bagnaia now sat in Ducati's hierarchy of priorities. It was not a negotiation in good faith. It was an instruction wrapped in the language of one. Bagnaia's response was composed, measured, and quietly devastating in its precision. "I believe I am a front-runner rider," he said during the Sepang test, "so my ambitions must always lead me to stay at the forefront." He ruled out a satellite option. He ruled out VR46, the team of his longtime mentor and personal hero Valentino Rossi, which effectively meant he was ruling out any continued relationship with Ducati machinery whatsoever. 8 years at the manufacturer that shaped every dimension of his riding career ended before the season had even begun. When the press pushed him on how he processed that, his answer carried the philosophical weight of someone who had already made peace with the outcome. "It is what it is," he said. "We are living in a world that is always super fast." And then, with quiet, deliberate precision, he quoted Jorge Lorenzo, "You are always remembered for the last races you do. It is normal that it is like this." But here is what the initial wave of reporting largely missed. Aprilia was not Bagnaia's first choice. Japan was. Yamaha was. With Quartaro departing for Honda and Jorge Martin finalizing his own Yamaha deal, the logic of the grid seemed to point clearly toward a second factory seat in the Iwata camp. Pairing Bagnaia and Martin, the 2 riders who had contested the 2024 and 2025 title fights at the closest margins the sport had seen in years, who had actually been junior teammates all the way back in Moto3 in 2015, as Yamaha's factory duo for the incoming 850cc regulations. Yamaha wanted it. Multiple sources across the paddock confirmed the deal was practically structured and close to finalized. It made narrative sense. It made commercial sense. It appeared to make competitive sense. Then two things happened at almost exactly the same moment, and they changed everything. Yamaha's V4 development program continued to deteriorate through pre-season testing at a pace that alarmed people inside the project. Reliability failures so significant they triggered a self-imposed withdrawal from running during the Sepang shakedown. Lap times that sat more than a second behind the competitive benchmark. A machine that was conceptually ambitious but practically unfinished, and a timeline for resolving those problems that nobody in the paddock could verify with confidence. And simultaneously, across the other side of the paddock, Massimo Rivola decided that he was not going to accept Francesco Bagnaia going to Yamaha as a settled fact. The Aprilia CEO had already done the foundational work. Renewing Marco Bezzecchi had been confirmed and treated internally as the cornerstone of the 2026 project. Renewing Marco was our main priority, Rivola stated publicly after confirming that deal. Once that priority was set, we will see how the market evolves. What followed was a pursuit of Bagnaia that went far beyond a salary conversation. Rivola constructed a pitch built entirely on identity. 2 Italians, 2 VR46 Academy graduates, 2 riders who had known each other since their formative junior career years, a genuine personal friendship between men who would stand in opposite halves of the same garage, and a motorcycle that had just produced one of the most dominant race performances the grid had witnessed in recent memory. The first offer was rejected. Yamaha still looked like the destination. Rivola came back. "I'm not saying yes or no," he said in public, threading the needle carefully. "There are interesting scenarios. But if Aprilia continues to demonstrate its growth and shows it can build fast bikes, the top riders will come. Thailand answered that question with extraordinary timing. Bezzecchi and the Aprilia RSGP did not merely compete at the season opener, they dominated. The performance landed in the middle of Bagnaia's decision window like a statement of intent from the universe itself. The second Aprilia offer arrived. Bagnaia made his call. The paddock got the first public signal at the Buriram test 2 days before the season opener. Bagnaia arrived with the composed, almost playful energy of a man who had already decided and was simply waiting for the correct moment to say so. "It's right that there are rumors," he smiled. "Within a few days, many announcements will come from many teams. You'll know everything in a few days." The following day, asked directly whether a decision had been made, his answer came without hesitation. "I've just decided." Pressed further, "I made my decision instinctively. I chose what I thought was best for me, not the salary." Yamaha's offer was reportedly significantly higher in financial terms, not the history. Bagnaia has no history at Aprilia to lean on. The project, the bike, the team, the person standing in the other half of the bridge. When Bezzecchi was asked about the prospect of his close friend and academy brother joining him, he gave the most deliberately relaxed answer of the entire winter. "I don't care who will be on the other side of the garage. I just think about riding." It was the response of a rider who had already processed exactly what this pairing means and concluded that the most productive thing he could do was focus entirely on the machine rather than the story being written around it. Rivola made his appeal on the basis of friendship, identity, national pride, and competitive belief. Bagnaia heard it, weighed it against a larger salary, and chose it anyway. That decision, that specific, deliberate, financially costly choice, tells you precisely what Francesco Bagnaia believes the next era of MotoGP will look like. And more importantly, it tells you who he believes can win it. The question the 2026 and 2027 seasons will answer is whether he was right.